Cool. So we're gonna begin our episode of June for Rooftop Chitchat. Nice to meet you guys. I'm your host today, Woogie. For the people watching this, if you guys wouldn't mind doing a little self-introduction, we'd love to hear like who you are, where you're from, and because our episode is about writers this time, like your most recent project. So, James, if you don't mind, like,
yeah,
kick it off. Yeah.
So I'm James Goodall, and I'm a writer, actor, and theatre maker from Liverpool. But I currently live in Loughton in Essex because I've just been studying at East 15 acting school, which I finished 2 weeks ago, which feels so weird to be like finally done. But really excited to go out into the big world. My most recent project was a show called Ernie. And it was a mask show, and it was about dockers in the 60s in Liverpool. And it was partly inspired by my great-granddad who died on the docks. He was a dock worker, and he had a massive heart attack on the docks and sadly passed away. So I was thinking, like, what would have happened if he lived? Because it was quite like it was a very harsh life being a docker. You didn't know if you were working from one day to the next, and so you would sort of, if you had an issue like a heart condition or any sort of illness, you would have to go to work the next day. And that's sort of what bookends the piece, not to spoil it, but is that life had to go on for these people regardless of their situation. That was my most recent project.
Nice.
My name is Naib Jean-Baptiste. I am a writer and researcher. I recently completed my PhD in contemporary drama studies at St. Mary's University. So, yay. And my previous project, I just did a scratch night at the Pleasance for Writers Corner. It was a night in comedy, and I presented my master's thesis, Virginity and the Suburbs. The play that I wrote, just an excerpt of it. And then I did another scratch night with the same company, Writers Corner, at the Pleasance for science fiction. And I had presented my short play, Time for Tea, a post-apocalyptic drama set in Britain. So that's some of my recent pieces so far. So
you guys are both like seeking to, or like in the process of like producing your own works, right? If we could like talk more about that. So
yes, I'm currently co-producing, and I'm the writer of the show Things to Say When I See You in Person. That is coming out at the Water Rats Theater for Camden Fringe on August 18th, 19th, and 20th. So book tickets. That's the current, and it's a romantic comedy set in the early 2000s about a long distance relationship and their struggles. So coming out this summer.
Lovely.
And I've only ever really produced one thing, and that was my show at East 15 again, Grafters, which was a three-handed crime thriller set in a terrace house in Liverpool. And it was about the gang grooming system that happens in Liverpool, where young lads from like impoverished areas become involved in crime as a way to gain status for a variety of reasons: poverty, needing money, peer pressure. It was about like how kids are affected by crime, whether that's directly through being involved in a gang or whether that's indirectly from being caught in a shooting. That's the premise for the story, is that a kid is killed in a few days before the play starts, and then the play starts with a news report about this child who's been killed. And then these three drug dealers who are living in a house sort of go into a state of like paranoia and panic about, was it one of them? Was it someone they know? And it sort of spirals in a pressure cooker play, so there's no scene changes. It's an hour straight of like sort of looking through a glass pane at what these people's lives. On the producing, the first time I produced it was at the King's Head Theatre. So it transferred from the debut festival at East 15 to the King's Head because I won an award called the Stella Wilkie, which is a playwriting award. So it granted me one night at the King's Head. And we sold it out.
Yeah, I remember
212 seats sold out. But first time producing something was really overwhelming, but a great way to learn, because I had to learn on the job. how to do everything, because at East 15 you don't really produce.
Yeah.
The producing's sort of left to the teachers and the staff there. But with this project, I had to learn to budget, I had to fundraise.
Yeah, like, did you have to like make those decisions? Like,
yeah, I was the only producer.
Oh,
so because the grafters team is quite a small team.
yeah, so 3 people, right? Like,
Yeah, there's 3 actors. I'm one of them. And I'm the writer.
Yeah.
And then there's a director. I basically just produced it all. And the team, the actors involved, one of them was the social media manager. So we were like a mini company for this one show. But it was great, and like we learned all about like how to liaison with like an actual theatre, like a professional one, and a lot to do with like how to properly use money. What are you going to sacrifice to put other money towards? So, for instance, we spent quite a bit on a photographer because we thought it'd be an investment for the show, because making a promo pack, if you've got like great pictures, it makes the show look a lot better. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and producing is something I'd happily do again. It's something I didn't actually understand until I did the job. You always see producer on like films and or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I don't really know what that is. But it was something I really enjoyed, and it's sort of like combining the art of it, the artistry of making something yourself, but also the entrepreneur side of it. Like, how can you combine these two to be like a self-sufficient artist who can just do their own work and find the money to do it? So yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm kind of lucky enough because I got to see James's show at East 15. It was amazing, like really good. And I love how different your pieces are, and different you guys as writers are. So like I kind of like want to like ask you more. Like, would you like say like your background or like your writing, it's on like the comedic side or like romantic comedies? Is that what's like your focus? I guess like
That's a good question. It really depends on what the story is going to be. I tend to follow what I already like, and yes, I do tend to like stories like coming of age and romantic comedies. Like Sex and the City is one of my favorite TV shows ever. I just watched it today.
Nice.
So, and of course, The Simpsons is one of my favorite TV shows. So I tend to have a bit more of a comedic sensibility, and I like to like put jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
And tend to have a more like happier or more hopeful themes. But it really depends on the story. Like, a dramatic, super dramatic, serious story hasn't hit me yet. But when it does, you never know.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah. Like, James, what I love about your stories is that like they're so like grounded in like your upbringing and like your background, and like I guess you would say that being from Liverpool defines so much of like your creative like identity, right? Like,
definitely. And I think that regardless of being creative, I think being from Liverpool is such a strong cultural identity. And I feel like it's one of the strongest in the UK. Like this, I don't know, coming to London, Liverpool feels like another world. And like wherever I've been in the UK, obviously there's a lot of subcultures and a lot of different cultures in the UK. But Liverpool to me it seems like a place that is unlike any other. And I've never met anyone like the Scousers, to be honest. But yeah, being from Liverpool has definitely influenced my work a lot.
Nice.
And coming to East 15 sort of enabled that, because prior to East 15, I did a writing course at the Everyman in Liverpool. And that's how I got into writing. And I remember the first play I wrote was this like set in New York in like this jazz bar.
Oh, nice.
And I brought it in. I said to the guy, I've written this. And we read it, and he was like, yeah, it's all right. The guy who was doing the course at the time, Joe Ward-Monroe, he's a great writer. Highly recommend him. He's fantastic. And he said to me, Jay, why are you writing this? And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you're writing about gangsters in New York and this and that. You're from Liverpool. Write about Liverpool. And then that's where it started then. And I wrote my first play there, which was The Ethics of a Working Man, which was a similar vibe to Grafters, about crime. It was about 2 hitmen on a job. And one of them was retiring. One of them was an older man, and one of them was a younger man. And it was about their relationship and how like that age gap between like say my granddad and me is quite significant. And like especially now, like my viewpoints are so different from an elderly generation's, and that's what was underneath the play. But it was this like hitman sort of job. But yeah. Being from Liverpool has massively influenced me. I don't know, I haven't seen a lot of Liverpool like plays. in the theatre, and I think that it's important for representation. Because Liverpool is full of storytellers. Like I love telling stories, but I know my family and friends are so much better. Like they don't write the stories down, but they will tell you a story. And my aunties are the most entertaining people you'll ever meet. They'll do the voices of the different people. There'll be twists and turns in all these stories, and they're all based on reality. But in Liverpool, we tend to exaggerate things, almost like dramatic writing, where you're taking something that is real, but you're making it more dramatic. So yeah, it has massively influenced me.
Nice.
But I would like to write something that wasn't based in Liverpool. But at the moment, it just feels like that's what I do.
Yeah. No, but because there's that eternal writing advice about write about what you know, and then I used to write a lot, mostly fiction. I've actually never written something that's purely dialogue, like a play or a screenplay. But I don't know, after a certain point, I felt there's only so much I know, and I actually kind of stopped writing after a while. And every time I try to get back into it, I'm but I've already written this before.
I would try writing what you want to know.
Oh, that's really
would be the next thing. Would be okay, at some point, yes, the experience that you have in life can only get you so far, but you have to be curious about the world around you. So the next stage is okay, writing about what I want to know. I think that's what I've been going through next. It's I always ask myself, what would make somebody do this? Or make someone do that? Something that I, in my personal life, would be no, I'm not doing that. But what would this character do and why? And so maybe that's, the next step is asking.
Yeah. That's actually really close to the question I wanted to ask you guys. I feel there is a big gap between the ideas you brainstorm and projects that actually start to get written. I'm wondering if you guys ever noticed if there is something that kicks you into action to actually start writing a piece, as opposed to it being in your notes forever.
Oh gosh, that's a good question. I think for me, how my process works is, okay, so I'll start with a title.
Yes.
A great title.
Lovely.
I think for my previous plays, Virginity and the Suburbs, that was a great title.
I think that's a good title.
Yeah. My current play that's coming out now, Things to Say When I See You in Person,
Also
great title.
Yeah.
So I'll try to see who these characters are. I'll say, who is the person who has these things to say in person? And then I'll just go from there and start writing. Usually it goes pretty fast for me. Or sometimes it'll be maybe a change in location. I'll be okay, that's where I'm gonna go. And I'll just go through that and just see what happens.
How about you, James? Is there something
Process-wise? Something I'd say for being stuck with writing is read around the subject. That usually helps.
Research?
That really helps, because you're expanding your imagination then. And that's what I tend to do with everything I do, is engulf music, books, films, anything to do with that particular subject you're writing about. It just fills your imagination more. So then when you do come down to write, you subconsciously have got these facts maybe, and these other narratives of maybe other stories to do with this subject that can flow. But in terms of process, it's usually an image.
Oh.
An image comes.
Visually, or a scene that in concept,
in here, I'm quite a visual person. I sort of remember things from how they look. Well, for Ernie, my mask show, where that came from was I saw a show by Brew Theatre at the Mime Festival, and it was one guy on stage. Brew Theatre is an Irish mask company. And they do a lot in a little village in Ireland. Yeah, I saw the show and I was wow, that's one guy on stage talking about Irish immigration and stuff. It's hard to tell where these ideas come from. They just pop, and then you sort of have to write them down, and then they'll change over time. Grafters never started off with Jono and P. It just started off with these two characters who were talking in a room. And then over time it developed and developed and developed. And then eventually, once you got the first draft, you sort of go back then and go, what is the story I'm trying to tell? How can it be as clear as possible? But yeah, process is, I think for me, different with every project. But
sense.
Those same foundations of reading around the topic are always there. And just trying to do it every day, and not feeling if you write for an hour and you don't think it's good, you can always come back tomorrow and with a fresh mind and re-edit and rearrange and make it better, because it's easier to edit, a page with words than a blank page.
I'm actually curious because you guys have like both been writing presumably for like quite a while now. Like Naib, you finished your PhD, so like
Yeah.
that's like that's like a long time to be writing. But I wanted to ask, how did you first start writing? Like when did you guys first start being interested in this version of creative expression?
Okay, so I've always loved storytelling, right? Like ever since I was a little kid, I loved watching movies. Like Titanic was my favorite movie as a kid.
Nice, yeah.
The Prince of Egypt, TV, loved the TV, loved books. I just loved stories. I loved to gossip. So I was like a big storyteller, and I went to school for acting. I did a BFA in acting. And I thought, okay, like I'm not getting the opportunity to tell necessarily the stories that I want to tell, or even like I'm not getting fulfilled. But I'd always been a writer. I'd always been writing. I had a diary. and I was like, dear diary every day. And so like over time, I was like, okay, like I'm not necessarily getting the full creative experience from acting. So then I think around like my senior year of
Your BA?
Yeah, which was a while ago now. I started to take writing more seriously, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do a master's in writing and see what that happens. And I was like, yeah, I just felt more, that fulfilled me more in that. I got to use all of my creativity. Yeah, that's how I got started.
Yeah. And I really get what you mean about like not finding the stories that like you want to talk about almost, right? I think especially for like people who are like underrepresented in popular media, like it almost feels necessary to like, create more stories that talk about specific experiences that you go through. Actually, James, like one of the reasons I like your plays so much is because they're like very, very specific, and like they're not plays you'd usually see done by like, drama school students. There's something very like real about them, I guess, and it's because like you've lived very close to like these events, right? But also going back to the question, like how did you start writing? Like
I was similar to you. As a kid, I'd always be writing on like A4 piece of paper stories, and yeah, I think Lego, I'd say, was like the first narrative sort of thing that I got into. Like, I'd tell stories with the Lego characters, as all children do. But then as I grew up, I sort of drifted away from it and became more interested in acting. And then when I was at the Everyman Youth Theatre, which is an incredible theatre in Liverpool, where I sort of learned a lot about the theatre. I was in the actors programme, and then the pandemic came, and they decided to do a radio drama with the actors, but they needed people to write. So me and my mate were just like, you know what, we'll have a go. Why not? So we wrote one of the episodes and it went really well. And they said to us, do you want to write another one? So we wrote 2 episodes of this radio drama called The Visit. I'm not sure if it's still on there, but it was sort of like, do you know the series The Royal Family? It's a very British TV show. So it's a British TV show. Similar to this, it's about a family who watch the TV. Like they sit on the sofa and watch TV. And it's sort of about that. Similar to that, but mixed with comedy and drama. And then after that, then I was like, actually, I quite like writing. So I applied for the Young Writers Programme at the Everyman. And I got it. And then that's when I did like a 2-year course. Then the first year is like you work with Joe, and he sort of guides you through like a variety of different plays, exposes you to like all kinds of stuff that you'd never like pick up on the bookshelf. All sorts, from like Pinter to Alice Birch and a vast amount of writers. And then on that course you work with other people, like other writers, and I'm still friends with people from that course now. And then at the end of the course you will have written a play, and that was my first play, The Ethics of a Working Man. And we performed that over Zoom because of the pandemic. Yeah, I sort of put the pen down then, and then came to East 15 and wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. Like, was I a writer? Was I an actor? Was I a director? And then being here in the second year, I sort of found my footing and was like, I like writing. And the writing teacher, Christopher Bailey, he was so good with me. Like when I brought the first draft of Grafters in, it was like, look, this is good. You need to read crime drama. So he brought all these like books in by I think Elmore Leonard. He's a famous American crime writer, and I read through them all. And then like that's where it all started.
Nice. It does feel like people who like do end up like writing you almost notice it from a young age, like, and you don't realize it until like you're older, and then like you kind of like look back on it, like, oh yeah, I used to do that. James, you were bringing up like these playwrights you were like read during like your course, right?
Yeah.
I was wondering if you guys like had writers you like, not necessarily like model yourself after, but like writers you have like enjoyed reading or like, you know, seeing produced.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I don't necessarily limit my inspirations to just
Like theater.
Yeah. I mean, I like Michaela Cole, who wrote Chewing Gum Dreams. I thought that was great. I liked oh my gosh, Terrell, Alan McCraney. Ooh, don't be mad at me if I mispronounce his name. But he wrote Choir Boy.
Oh,
I do like that. Of course, I like Rodgers and Hammerstein, musical
theater, yeah.
Cole Porter is fantastic. Anything Goes is awesome. I love a lot of TV. I'm a TV person. Shonda Rhimes, who did
Bridgerton.
Scandal, Bridgerton. Oh my God, love me some Bridgerton. Love all of those. Ryan Murphy and Glee and all that stuff is like a big influence. Of course, James Cameron, he did True Lies and Titanic, my fave. I kind of choose writers from
like all
everywhere.
disciplines.
And even music, like, you know, Mariah Carey is my favorite singer, but she's a songwriter as well. And so she's a wonderful storyteller as well. And so I really get inspiration from everybody. Yeah, and try to like make my own way.
Yeah, no, I get that, because like there is like so much to learn from all different kinds of writers. And I was actually thinking about like this video game I really like. It's Undertale and like Deltarune, and the writer / composer for it is this guy called Toby Fox. He's like single person game developer, meaning like he writes, he programs, like he creates the game mechanics and like designs the characters, all of it. But also like his writing is really fun, and there is something similar, I think, between the writing of video games and the writing of theater, in that like it almost like not like an audience interaction element, but like, you know, there's something like very close.
Well, yeah, I think there's like a relationship with the audience or the player that you have to have. I think that's why I agree with you. They're very similar. Like, I think for a musical, right, the songs have to push the story forward.
Yeah.
They have to tell us the story. Well, the action sequences in a game also help push the story forward if there is a story, or they help like reveal who the characters are.
James, any playwrights like you or like other kind of writers?
Yeah. I'd say Harold Pinter. Like that was the first playwright I was introduced to. Because sort of I got introduced to that when I was in like year 9. So that's
that's
like,
really young to be reading Pinter plays. Like,
my teacher was incredible, Miss Dalton. She was like, I don't know, I sort of thought theatre, like I didn't go to the theatre as a kid. Like it's not what we did. Like it was not our thing. But I did drama in school, and I loved TV and theatre. To me, I thought it was just musicals and stuff like that, because I'd never been. And so
look where you are now.
I had a very distorted view of what it was. But Pinter, when I opened up, it was The Caretaker by Pinter.
Oh God, I read that play recently. Like it was at my local library. It's a weird play.
I really like it.
It's a very like.
And that was like I was like, whoa, these people are speaking like normal people. And this feels like I'm looking into someone's house. And if you sort of think about grafters and think about that, you can sort of see
I see what you mean. Yeah,
a similarity.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it's all about the dialogue. The dialogue has to be good.
Yeah, that's so fair.
And then other playwrights, Martin McDonagh. I really love him. He brought like this, especially in the 90s, he brought this like cinematic approach.
Like Pillowman, right? Like
yeah. But his old like Irish plays, like the Leanne trilogy, really, really good. And Jez Butterworth. Mojo, really big influence. Yeah, and then in terms of TV, Jimmy McGovern, he's sort of, I'd say, the godfather of like British drama. He's written a lot of like gritty, real shows. His most recent one was called Time, and it was set in a jail. It was Sean Bean. He wrote a show about Hillsborough, which was like a disaster that happened with some Liverpool fans. Yeah, he's just incredible. Incredible writer.
Nice. I do wonder when I see other writers, and it's kind of like a weird question to ask, but like, why do you write? Like, is there something that like you set out to do? Because like, I know there are writers who write because there's like a message they want to send out, whether it's like political. And I know there are writers who write, I want to write something fun and absorbing. I remember when I wrote fiction, I almost didn't like how self-serving my writing was, because like it was often about like creating a world and creating characters that I wanted to see. And I'd often have trouble with plot, because like to have plot you need to put characters in trouble, and like I just could not do that sometimes. I hate doing that sometimes, and I'd be like, okay, like this story is going nowhere. But yeah, I was wondering, like, is there something almost that like you want to do with your writing?
Well, I enjoy it. To start, I do it because I enjoy it.
Nice.
But also, it's similar to you. It's just stuff I want to see, like stuff that I think, oh, I would like to see that, and you just hope that other people would as well. And like by making your work what you want it to be, but also knowing that other people who might not know the specific context of that place can still access it is what I sort of aim for. But yeah, also to get across things that you think are important, messages. But yeah, to make something make something entertaining, even that everyone can enjoy. And we go to the theatre because we want to learn about things, and it's a way of learning that's fun. You are like exposed to different places, different people. You see yourself in these people. So I guess like the process of writing is you get to, well, for me, you get to live with these characters and figure out, oh, okay, this character's done that because of this, this, and this. And it just really interests me, like why people make certain decisions. And I think in my work, I like to sort of show why people do things. Sort of like humanizing these people rather than being stock characters. So yeah, I guess that's why I do it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
I mean, almost same. I mean, almost the same. Yeah. I mean, writing, one is like really just such a peaceful experience to me. It really is relaxing. I mean, if my plays, me just writing a play is just such a calming, such a like relaxing,
that's lovely
experience for me. Just writing in general, anything, it's like, oh my gosh, it's just me in my brain. And like I have no anxieties or worries. And so that's like a really, really therapeutic place for me. And so when I put some pieces out there, I don't necessarily have like, okay, this is what I want people to get. I have intentions. I have artist intentions. And so, okay, like for this play, Things to Say When I See You in Person, it's a romantic comedy. It's one woman, one man. What occurs in their relationship, I'm sure every single person will have opinions about each of the characters. But it's not, and everyone is free to decide with this piece, especially, everyone's free to decide how they want to interpret and how they want to take it. Because, to me, I'm more curious now, but when it's out there, to hear what other people want to say and what other people feel like and what they got from it. So that also brings me joy to it, and why I write. It's like, okay, like let's talk about it. What do you guys think? And what do you guys, did you hate someone? Did you love someone? Why? So that's why I write. It's mainly one, for the peace of my mind, and two, to just like be like, just participate in the world and just like, just see what the world people are thinking. So me personally, my favorite part is why I'm a writer and not an actor or a director, or is I get to sit down. I get to watch the play.
I get that.
And I don't have to like be stressed out.
Yeah.
And I get to watch it like I didn't write it. I'll laugh at the joke and be like, like I forgot that I wrote it. I'm like, oh, that's the best feeling in the world. To be like, oh yeah. I wrote that. So that's why I write.
So I guess, do you like, once you write it, it's kind of out of your hands? Do you feel?
Is, the actors are there. And once we start, and once it's in the public, it's out of, I believe in death of the author.
Oh, okay.
So once it's out there, it's not necessarily up to me anymore.
Oh, nice.
So, and especially with this play, which you'll all see on 18th, 19th, and 20th of August. Tickets are on sale for Camden Fringe. It really is like, it's really for the audience to decide. Like, it's not really for me to say. Because a relationship, we all have opinions about relationships, about our own relationships of other people, even celebrities. We talk about people's relationships. So it's, it's not really up to me at that point. It's, I have specific intentions, but if the play is performed 50 years, 70 years after I'm dead, it won't matter. So that's a little depressing, but
I mean, if it's still being produced, like, that's success. Like, How about you, James? Like, do you feel like once it's like in a rehearsal room, do you feel like it's out of your hands?
Not really. Not with the experiences I've had.
That's true, because you've also acted.
I've always been involved in them, so but I'm quite excited to experience the giving the script over and stepping back as a writer, or like go into a theatre and developing a play where I am just the writer and I'm in the room and I'm making cuts, and I think that would be a next step for me to learn that.
What's like fulfilling moment you like guys remember as like since you became like a writer? What kind of fulfillment has like writing brought you almost?
Oh my goodness, a lot. I think. My first, I guess my biggest fulfillment is when I like write the first draft. And it's like a good first draft. I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. That's a great feeling. Another great feeling is like when actors are reading it for the first time. And it's like, oh yeah, it's gonna work.
Nice.
When we had auditions, the actors were reading it, and I was like, oh my God, thank God. It sounds so good. And so that's just such a fulfilling experience is when actors are just able to pick it up and then like just read away. And so I think those are fulfilling. And then of course, when it's being performed.
Yeah.
That's great. So yeah, those are the three most fulfilling moments.
That's something I'd really like to try, like watching the audience's reaction, because we had one of the tutors at school who supervised the debut project, Bryony. She said to us that like when she worked at the Royal Exchange in Manchester, one of the things they looked for was like if people leaned forward. That's how you know they were interested in a show.
That's always
and that's something I'd really love to observe, like how an audience reacts to your show. Like what bits in the show do you think really is supposed to be funny or dramatic, but have a different effect on the audience. And that's what I experienced with Grafters, like acting in it, bits that I thought were really serious, the audience laughed at, which was a strange thing to like pinpoint.
I feel like that happens quite often, like in theater. It's a dead serious moment you think, and then like people love like just like laugh at it.
They just laughed at it. It's like, okay, that's interesting.
But I feel like it's a good sign usually, because like when I laugh at scenes like that, it's because like it's so true that it's funny. Like,
it's like cathartic.
If you guys were to say you had ambition, like a kind of like goal you wanted to like do as a writer, what would it be? Like I am curious. What does the image of success like look like to you almost?
Oh gosh, I want to be on Broadway.
Nice. Yeah.
That's what I said when I interviewed for my master's thesis, and my supervisor, she asked me, "Oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna be on Broadway." And I'm like, and that has remained consistent. It's like, I guess it's more of just a symbol of like, okay, like I am able to make a full career from writing. I don't have to do anything else except be a writer. And my work can go at the most sophisticated, expensive, high quality thing possible. And I think that my work and my ethic is strong enough to do so. And so I shoot for the stars, and I will hopefully land exactly at the stars.
Exactly at the stars, nowhere else. So,
similar. Like I don't know about Broadway, but I would like a play on Broadway. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
But I think for me, success as a writer would be to solely earn money from that and live comfortably and enjoy life. But working like in 5 years, I'd like to have had a play on at the Everyman in Liverpool. That'd be like a dream to
it's
have.
Like homecoming to you almost.
Yeah, exactly. And like to go back there and allow people from my neighborhood and like family and friends to see a show that I've written in that place that I sort of grew up and learned. But also to work in TV. That's that's the next step I want to do. Work in TV. And one day write a TV show that's on the BBC or something like that. I'd love to do that. And keep writing, like have a theatre company that produces new plays that like, you know, people are excited to see. Oh, it's like, you know, when you see like a new Martin McDonagh play or Jez Butterworth, and you're like, oh, you're gonna go and see it because it's them people.
Yeah.
Or like a company like Complicity, and you're like, it's a Complicity show.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to have a company like that where people just go, oh, it's
like a brand that like
yeah,
people know
people
about.
are like, oh, we want to go and see this.
Yeah.
And also like making it so that like it reaches everyone. Like I sometimes think that I'd like to make theatre for people who don't go to theatre.
Yeah.
Normal, everyday people who don't go to theatre can actually see themselves on stage and go, oh, I could do that. I could write something like that because that's happening in my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that would be my success, like making a living as a writer.
That's lovely. Yeah. Yeah. I think that is like, most creatives, like their image of like, I've made it. It's like when I have income fully from like my creative work.
Yeah.
That is able to like sustain me comfortably and like nothing else. Yeah.
It's a long game.
It's a long game.
Long game.
It's such a long game.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Is what I say. Okay. Like I think like a big goal would be someday, 10, 15 years from now. Things to say when I see you in person. Somebody purchased the performance rights. I don't even know who they are. Never met them. And they're doing the show somewhere, I don't know, anywhere. And I just walk into it. I don't even make a big scene. Yeah. And I just watch it in the back. Like I didn't even write it. And I was like, wow. People I don't even know.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing that when I was coming up, I used to do. I used to watch plays in the back. And that would be the same thing over again, full circle. So
there's something very beautiful about like that image. Like, yeah, like you like walk into like some like college theater department and they're like reading your play or like you're doing it. And it's like yeah,
in the back, can't see me.
Yeah, nobody knows.
But I'm just enjoying it,
I think we've talked like a good amount, but yeah, I mean, like, thank you guys so much for like coming today and like providing so much insight into like inner process, like what like your like thoughts as a writer. It's always really fun to like hear creatives, and I'm really excited to like obviously see things to say when we see in person, 18th, 19th, 20th at like the Water Rats for Camden Fringe.
I think it's sold out now.
Yeah, like during the course of this video, like. Well, guys, thank you for coming, and thank you everyone for watching this episode of Rooftop Chitchat. Stay tuned. We'll be coming to you with more fun ideas and stories from like more creatives or other not creatives in London. And great food. So, thank you guys so much.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Applause.